Hey guys, have you heard? I have a website now officially. Yes! If you are new to this channel, it would be very recommended that you go check that out just so you know a little bit about what I post and stuff. It helps in navigating the things that I post within like with on my channel, and also it kind of like helps for you to see like, oh, is this someone that possibly would entertain me, or like, is something that I would like to listen to. And if not, totally cool, but I think the websites are useful in that case. Cosmic Creative Entertainment, you can learn more about the productions that I'll be making in the future. Currently there's only one production, but that's okay because more will be coming soon. If you're interested in that, check it out. If not, that's pretty chill because I can't control what you watch and don't watch. Anyway, let's get on to the podcast. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Talking with the Stars. If you're seeing this through Spotify, it's good to hear from you again. And if you're seeing this through YouTube, it's good to see you again. It's me, Nina. Yep. And here's Spirit over here being his lovely spirit self. Guys, this podcast, we're going back to school. I'm sorry. I know that on YouTube the last thing, or on Spotify the last thing you want to be talking about is school. But guys, I'm bringing you back to school to tell you that I'm going to be graduating soon. Heading into the coming week, I will be doing the first big set of exams before, I venture off into the world where I do not need to do school or anything like that anymore. Where I am from, I don't know if it's the same all over the world. You guys may have similar things, but where I am from in Australia, we have things known as trials and HSC. Sorry, I'm just seeing myself through the camera and I look very bright. This is not my usual skin color. I'm usually a bit tanner than what it is, but you know what? The lighting today is just too strong for my skin, apparently. We're gonna be very pale. Anyway, nothing wrong with that, but it's just a bit strange because it looks like I'm like photoshopped, but whatever. So in Australia we have things known as trials and the HSE, and those are our final exams before we can just skedaddle off. And I'm so excited. And yeah, fun fact about me, which I'm just apparently built different for doing this. I actually graduated uni first. I know it sounds a little bit strange because it's like, how did you manage that? Like, how do you graduate uni before you graduate school? The answer is, you be me. I did something known as, or at least how it's labeled in in Australia, as an EVET course. And that essentially means that on the side of school, I also did a uni course, and these EVET courses they're the same thing as uni courses. So if you're about to say, oh, but you didn't go to real uni, yes, I did, and it was pretty chill. It's a smaller qualification, so you get a certificate instead of like your diplomas and bachelors and stuff. So that's pretty cool, and I did absolutely amazing. And not going to say who it was, but a certain someone when I told them that, told someone else and said that I graduated fake uni. Don't we just love family sometimes? But I'm not here to talk about about school and stuff, or just the annoying stories that I have. It depends. Today I'm going to be talking about my honest relationship with school, and how I sort of, after 13 years of school, developed a more positive outlook on both school and life heading into it. And some of these outlooks you may hear and go like, oh, I want to try as well. And if you want to try as well, that's pretty chill. You go do so. I just realized I'm wearing a 101 Dalmatians t-shirt and Spirit's right next to me. Spirit ain't happy about that. Anyway, let's get into the topic. So, I'm gonna start by explaining my honest opinion about school, and then I can talk to you about the other stuff later. So my relationship towards school is fully on a personal level, and some people may be able to agree with me in these sort of topics, but not everyone will as well, because keep in mind, they're my honest opinion, they're they're honest, like how I feel honestly, but they are still my opinion, and some people may not see it the same way. So starting off, because I know exactly what I want to do in school and have also graduated uni first, I school is not really the forefront of what I need. And I know it may sound a bit strange where it's like if you've graduated uni essentially, why are you still in school then? The answer is because to get into the next like step of what I want to get into, I need to have I would need to have had like proof that I finished school and did like the assessments and stuff, like the final exams. So, we're gonna stick around for that. Yeah, did a lot to get to where I am going. So yay to that. But yeah, school is not necessarily the forefront of my mind. I am also not the most academic person. I know your girl is not the smartest when it comes to books specifically. I believe that I am intelligent in other like sort of areas. However, school and like textbook stuff, nah, nada. Can't do it. Nuh-uh. And that's just purely because first of all, I'm not like, especially like with all the subjects that are offered at my school particularly, was not able to pick anything that would have been my strong point. And also I try, but I'm not the best or fondest of studying, in all honesty. Because of the limited courses that I could pick, and the courses weren't something that sort of seemed appealing to me. I just kind of picked whatever I thought could possibly be the easiest and then went on from there. I just can't really study in terms of, if you put school in anything, hate it immediately. If you do the same thing but with uni, love it immediately. But I can't stand it if it's like, if it's school specifically. Uh, yeah. Sorry, just kind of like thinking. I have my little list of stuff that I've like written down so that I know what I'm going to talk about. Except this third dot point makes zero sense. So let's try and work our way around what it means. Okay, no, I get it. I didn't write it correctly. So basically, what I believe in school in terms of the way that it's structured around it, unfortunately, it seems as though to be able to live up to the standards of school in terms of getting like very high grades and everything, it requires you to sacrifice your mental health, essentially. Especially coming from a school where like, even though what we are, we just seem like we're such a very prestigious and academically high school. We The whole thing that allows our school to thrive is the fact that we are all academically gifted, even though I just stated I'm not academically gifted. Not academically gifted, or not academically driven. I am driven, but in the things that am super passionate about. School has definitely led me to sort of realize what is worth my time and what I believe is worth my time. It's just a lot of school subjects that are stuck in very outdated curriculums is not that. So it's really difficult for someone like me to be able to keep up with school when you just can't find enjoyment or even sometimes a reason to do it. Because I prioritize my mental health, I can be seen as falling behind within school, because if I feel as though I'm like feeling incredibly mentally unwell and can't handle schoolwork, I won't do it essentially, because I feel as though my mental health, me still, like, people still being here, I feel as though should be way more important than where was the homework that I assigned you. And I strictly stand by that. Some people may feel differently in the sense of like you get better and then do it, but some like mental health doesn't work that way. You can't just get better and then do it. Or you can catch up and stuff, but sometimes in the moment where it's the most convenient to finish it or be like, why didn't you like do it then and stuff, sometimes that won't work because you're just not in the headspace or like the proper like proper mental health, like, you know, mental space to be able to do that. And it can be way outside of your capacity. And sometimes, unfortunately, teachers will not be able to relate or understand that. So instead, they'll just think that you're just using any sort of excuse that you can to get away from doing work or homework. And guys, let me tell you, if you're a teacher, you obviously don't believe the people that said that literally insert animal ate their homework. But like, please believe them if they're trying to warn you that it's for mental health or physical health reasons. And also believe me if I say that I ate my homework, because, like, why not? When you get super frustrated, just eat it. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Or however, that would be hilarious. And yes, I do definitely feel as though school can sometimes, like, be like you have to choose one or the other, because if you pick mental health, you may be falling behind in school. But if you choose to prioritize school, sometimes mental health can be overlooked and you may not mentally be feeling the best. I do know some friends, unfortunately, that completely run off of like coffee, the energy drinks and stuff, and we all know that that is not a good way to live. And unfortunately, with teachers, they can't monitor that, because like when they're giving out such heavy amounts of work, you're obviously not going to sort of be on their side if they decide to go, oh, stop drinking like your energy drink, stop drinking your coffees, like eat food and stuff like that. I feel as though with teachers and stuff, when like they just kind of, sometimes teachers will be able to understand, but sometimes unfortunately teachers will not. And I think as long as you give it your best effort, you don't have to aim to be the very best student with 100% and stuff. For me, I just believe that if I can walk in there and try my best, the end result doesn't matter, because I know that I've put in all the work that I can. And what I really liked about uni as opposed to school was, instead of grading it on an ABCD like level or scale and then like ranking you and putting you up against everyone else, what uni did is it's literally just are you competent or not competent. And there was no ranking systems, no one was winning there. It was just literally, can you do it, yes or no? And of course in life, definitely people will be put up against each other and stuff, but I also do think it's worth at least just enjoying life for like what it is, not how you're doing against everyone else. So if I can do like the best that I can do, then that's all that matters to me. And I'm not going to sacrifice my mental health and allow school to suck that away from me, because I'm gonna be real and say that it has done that in the past and it wasn't the most healthy for me. So let's get into that later. I did do a little bit of digging in this, and by a little bit of digging, I mean I learned it in art and then actually researched it further and was like, oh my god. So if you didn't know, school was actually originally designed within the industrial period, and it was used as a way to get students to be able to be prepared for the industry. So what this school would do is it would take kids that they needed to get into like labor as fast as possible, molds them and shape them in a certain way, and then send them off to these industries. And obviously now we're not in that period anymore. So there's so many more jobs and so many more opportunities for things outside that you don't need to be molded or shaped into this like particular person anymore. But the issue is that school has not been updated to follow that. It really comes down to be able to like, I guess, like have it progress with the rest of like the world and stuff and society. The teachers need to be super like, it's okay, just like, you know, we're doing this so that you can like learn and do what you want to do and stuff. But unfortunately, there are still so many schools out there that do prioritize the like the academy and the academics behind it. It's nothing to do with like, oh, what do you want to do? It's like, how are you doing? How are you doing? And I told my friends this as well. And I said, like, especially how we're approaching like the trials and the HSC and stuff. It's I told her, I was like, it's always how's the trials, how's the HSC, how's studying, but it's never how are you. Because I think something that a lot of the time in school people fail to realize is we are humans. We are students, but we are humans. We're not machines that can balance 6 subjects at one time. We are humans that are trying our hardest, and that's all we can do. And if unfortunately if that's not enough for the school system, it's literally get better at that point. I'm not kidding. Sometimes in the school system they really just be saying get better, or that's a skill issue, when in reality we are all simply just humans trying our best. And I think if you're at least trying your best, that's all you can do in school. And I don't think that I don't think that it's a skill issue on your part if you're struggling in school. Unfortunately, sometimes school can get to that point. What matters is that you have good support systems. And I'll be honest, with those support systems that I've had, I've always had to get them from outside of school. I did try inside of school one time, at one of the schools that I went to. Not a good idea. Again, because of the positions and stuff, the school was only able to help if the issue was bullying and stuff. So when I would tell them that it's mental health because of schoolwork and stuff, they would be like, I want you to be like, I kid you not, there was one time where I was in counseling trying to get help, and a teacher went, I want you to be floating in this water, and all the problems that you have about school, about studying, I want those to fly away and you feel better. And I was like, so you're telling me that to fix my mental health state, I have to just be happy? I kid you not. That was essentially what she was trying to get it to turn into. And obviously, unfortunately, school's not going to be like that. I do want to reiterate, but that this is definitely catered more towards high school students. Probably should have mentioned that a lot earlier. If you're in primary school's pretty chill. It's fun courses and stuff. Don't be too stressed out about it. High school will try and apply as much pressure because they really genuinely want you to believe that uni is one of the hardest things in the world, when in reality, uni could not be any more chill than it is. I'll be honest, uni sometimes is too chill, but don't let yourself think that uni is going to be even worse than school, because uni is actually a lot better. I would say a lot better than primary school too, because then you have the extra step of you are a fully grown adult that can do extra stuff. That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool. Yeah, some cities, I have some friends who aren't actually in the same city that I am in, and their schools are completely different to the way that I'm explaining it, where in some schools I've heard that it's essentially what I wish school was all the time, where it's the teachers are simply there as guidances, and it really comes down to, do you want this opportunity, yes or no? If not, we're more than happy for you to, find apprenticeships or courses that you can start early and whatnot. And I think that's pretty sick. I did I did want to do that, but I didn't, because the course that I wanted to requires me to finish school. So just kidding, no thanks. But yeah, I think it's, especially when coming to especially with Gen Z and everything, I feel as though we have a lot more pressure to kind of do well in school. A lot of the time with parents, pressures and stuff, it a lot of the time comes from not projection, that's not the right word, but a lot of the times it will come from they didn't have that opportunity to do that, and they want you to be able to succeed it. And a lot of the time these kids may be some sort of makeup thing for the fact that they didn't get to do it. And I think you've got to remember at the end of the day that you are not your parents' second chance. You are your own individual person. So if your parents are trying to get you to do trying to succeed in school because maybe they didn't do it or anything like that, don't allow them to put too much pressure, or influence on you, because at the end of the day, it really comes down to what do you need to be able to do what you want to do in the future? Do you even know what you want to do in the future? If you don't know what you want to do, just kind of like work your way around school and just have the focus be you trying to just like, you know, finish it, get to the end and stuff. And if you know what you want to do in school, then that's entirely your thing, and you do not allow your parents to change or influence that sort of thing, or any, I guess, external factor that might be pushing you in one like way or another, like influencing you in any sort of way. Don't allow that to fully change what you want. And yeah, no, again, not all schools will feel the same way. I'm surrounded, or I've at least been to a lot of schools that have been like really academically like driven and stuff. There are some schools out there that are like fully in support of what the students want and what like the younger like people want, or the younger generation want to do. Have you seen that school? One of the best schools that I've ever seen in the world is the school that basically doesn't have any like courses. Like, you don't, like, what you do is you basically go into the school building, you say this is what I want to learn for the day, and you do that, and you can leave whenever you want to. I think the limit is like an hour that you have to be in there or something, but the point is that it allows the people who want to go to school to get to where they want to be. It allows them to finally do that with the freedom of what they can do. Like, you'll notice that a lot of the school systems where it's like schedules and restrictions and stuff is trying to sort of influence you in a certain way to be doing like it a certain, I guess, like way. But those schools I really like, because it's so much more about what do you want to do and how do you want to get there, and there are people to guide you if you don't know what to do, but it's essentially your choice and what you want. And the thing that I am grateful for is that year 11 and year 12 you can choose what courses you want to do. The only thing that sucks is that it's very limited to what you can do. Some schools will have a lot of options. The school that I went to, not that many, and all of them did not pique my interest. The only ones that did were the food subjects, purely because I am in love with food. That's all I can say. Yeah. So, yeah, you like, obviously that may not work for your situation if you're in a school system where it's a lot more catered towards you. But if it's too sort of, I guess, like outdated, you might be able to relate to that in a certain way. Or I might have just been talking complete garbage that entire time. So I guess that's just a bad take on my end, but that's what I believe. That's what I believe. That when it comes to school, it's very much meant to be a learning setting. It is not at all meant to be a setting where you get molded or like shaped in a certain way. It's very much meant to be you are there to learn and learn these things, and that is what the main focus should be and what the main intention is. So I don't know where the need to be the best school in terms of like marks and stuff, I don't know where in society that kind of blossomed. I think that school is just meant to be the place where you learn. That's what a school is, isn't it? I might be wrong, but hey, who am I? I'm about to graduate. Like, this is another thing that I have seen, and this is very unfortunate to me. So again, like I've mentioned with the like molding, like basically shaping someone into a certain way, because that's what school functions were essentially, and they haven't been updated in that sense. You will unfortunately see some students who do like, you know, dedicate their time and everything that they've gotten, all of their energy into school. And because school only goes for like 13 years and stuff, when they graduate and they can go, and it's like the prime time where they finally get to do what they want to do, they don't know where to start because they don't know where to go. And that makes me very concerned in the sense of what is the purpose of school, because some kids will leave and they'll be so like used to the like they'll be so used to the discipline, so used to the schedules that school give them, so used to the bell even alone, that when they leave, they don't know how to progress. They don't know how to do it themselves because school was always their guidance. And they don't know what to do after that because they just feel so used to it. And it's a little concerning in that sense, which is why I think it's so important that school students should be able to also, like, do what they want to do and do what they love and be able to find what they enjoy over simply just being used to, spending all this time studying and doing schoolwork and stuff and then doing those like assessments. Like, people will study even when assessments are done because it's like, what are they meant to do after that? And that's when it becomes a real problem, because then that's what sort of ignites the toxic relationship with school, in the sense that that's everything to you. Because once you go, the problem with school is that it's such a small factor and a small percentage of your life. Remember, 13 years sounds like a lot, but it's only 13 years against that, like, people who will be living, like, the facts that we are, like, we live from 80 to 100, like, that's the, like, that's, what is it, the range, like, yeah, like the range of how long we live until, like, yeah. But the point is that is a very small portion of your life when you think of it in that sort of sense, that there will be a point where you won't even remember what you did in school, period. There is a point where you will leave school and your kids will come, like, if you decide to have kids, or like younger people than you will come and talk to you about stuff that you can't even recall happening in school. You know why? Because it was such a small portion of your life that it's probably changed in some sort of way. Or like you just straight up couldn't remember because, again, it was such a small portion of your life. And so I don't think it's a good idea to be so just completely like absorbed in school. You should be able to go out and do other things as well as school. Like, obviously, don't walk into exams and stuff not even knowing which exam, like, subject it is. Like, be prepared in that sort of sense, and be prepared for, like, the portions that you would probably most likely need. But if you're not someone who really feels the need to constantly be studying, just don't do it then. Like don't not study at all, but it's like, study at the pace and at the at the level that you need. And it doesn't matter if people are studying more than you. It's not a competition of who can study the most. It's purely just how much do you need in terms of revision and stuff to be able to to be comfortable in what you're doing and what you need. And like, I feel like with all, like, I don't know. I just, with, like, so I know that there's apps now. My friend showed this to me, but there are now apps where you can, like, put your hours of how long you've spent, and it's like a scoring system. So it's literally a leaderboard. You are ranking people based on how much they've studied. Now, my honest opinion on that app, although people can see it as harmless, do not get that app if numbers, like, if you're someone who sort of looks at numbers and feel inclined to, like, be first and stuff. That is a terrible app that you can get, mainly because it's 100% going to, like, help the whole, like, the whole idea of competing and competitors, when your year group is your peers, not people that you should be versing against. And I didn't, when I first heard the app and my friend showed me how it works, I really disliked it. It could be just a me thing, but I personally don't think that it's, like, if you're going to study and sort of take time to be able to know what you're going to do in, like, your subjects and stuff, you don't really need to, like, have to boast about it, because the whole point is that you're there to, you're there to just do what you need to do, and you don't need to, like, put that on display for everyone else so that they can compare it to you. This is linking a lot to, like, things, like, that I've experienced and whatnot, so yeah. What else? Not just the work itself. Another thing that I have stressed about a lot in terms of school are the people that are there. So if you thought that my, like, most current school that I'm in, where they're super academically driven, was, like, bad, So is the other one that I used to go to. Not gonna disclose any of them because they're not per se bad schools. If the academics is what you're what's important to you, then these schools would be right for that sort of stuff. As someone who believes that the academic portion and the constant driving for 100% and good marks and stuff is bad, they were both not the best school, especially for me in terms of my mental health. At the school that I used to go to, even teachers, students and teachers would basically call me dumb. In the group that I used to be with, I was the dumbest, quotation, the air quotes, the dumbest among them. And people, I've had people who would call me that label, and I have had teachers specifically. I would have teachers that would actually call me dumb. And I think a teacher can very much make or break the way that students see school in the way that it is. I'm going to specifically talk about two subjects, music and maths. Both subjects that I used to love and now I completely dislike. I do want to get back into it because I did used to have really, really I'd be super excited to do school. Oh, the sun is hitting me in probably the worst lighting. I'm so sorry. I'm going to look, if you're seeing this visually, I'm going to look a little strange because the light is shining all over me from the side. If you're listening to this through Spotify, then don't worry. I hope the light is shining on you. I mean the stars. Oopsies. My bad. The stars are just the stars so close to me. It's just burning on me. Yeah, so teachers really influenced the way that I saw those two subjects in particular. In year 6 to year 8, I was actually doing really, really well in music. Topped the class a couple of times. Pretty good, loved compositions, loved stuff. Then I got one teacher in the next year and she completely broke the entirety of my view towards music, in the sense that I didn't do that well in one of my compositions or my practical. I tried my hardest again. I tried my best, and we were doing a ukulele performance for that one. So I did my ukulele, and then I I stopped and tried to get her opinion on it, and she literally just laughed and then went to the next person. That year with her, I had actually gotten a D in the class, and when I asked her what was wrong, she simply just told me I was bad at music. No direction, no indication of how I could have gotten better, just simply said that I sucked at the subject. And because she said I sucked at the subject, I essentially believed her because I was still at my, because you get influenced by your teachers and stuff, and just kind of gave up on music altogether. Similar to maths, except because maths is sort of a required, course, I ended up giving up and, flunking maths quite a bit. It got really bad to the point where my the head, what are they called, the year advisors, the people who look over the year, I think we call them year advisors, year coordinators, that's what we call them. She actually had to come to me and tell me that I would have had to have restarted the year and do it again if I wasn't able to bring up my grade. And obviously that sounds awful. I'm already not wanting to do the subject. Why would I want to do it again? So I was like, oh my god, okay, we're gonna start trying in maths. But I would simply only do the bare minimum. The last maths exam that I did for that year, before I moved schools, my goal was to try my absolute hardest, and I ended up getting 69% for that. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna be real. That's pretty. All right. Sorry. Sorry for the jump, you guys. You'll probably be able to see if you're watching this visually that the lighting has gotten a lot better. I just had to adjust the lighting so that I didn't look like I was burning. Yeah, so obviously, like, I did the best and stuff, but I ended up actually showing like different grades and report cards and things like that when I had to get into my new school, because they would have not accepted me if I showed them the original like the original, like not the original, but like if I showed them the report cards where I started flunking school and getting mentally unwell, they definitely wouldn't have taken me. So we showed them the good marks. And like it's again, but even though I was like mentally doing awful and like purposely flunking exams for the purpose of simply just feeling better in a twisted, like in a twisted way, it was still the it was still the marks that I like, the marks and the grades that I had to be my focal point. I was not doing well, and that didn't matter because like they're not gonna, especially if it's like I'm a new student, they're not gonna take like, then like they might have not even taken me if that was the reason, like to bad grades and stuff, because again, they're a very academically driven school. Now I don't know this because again, we didn't try that, so I could just be putting words in their mouth and maybe they did, like they would have still taken me, but the point still stands in the term, like in the thing of like, it sucks that mark for some reason is the main driver for schools. Um yeah, coming into year 12, there have been even more issues in the sense that it's year 12. You can probably gather that that would have that would have made the situation 10 times worse. Um Already coming from like, I think my hatred for school and my like all the negative things that happened started in year 8 alone, like started in year 8, let alone getting to year 12. You think it would get worse from there, but thankfully I had tried to build up the resilience to, like, and realizing that school will, number one, be a small portion, number two, won't define me for who I am, and number three is like there are other ways around what I can do and what I what I truly believe and stuff. That helped me to sort of see school in a positive way. And in year 12, I was able to probably do the best that I could do, not in terms of like academics, but just simply making it in terms of I was able to pass, which is a good sign. And I still feel mentally healthy even with school and stuff. Year 11, year 10, year 9. Like it's just kind of like that. It's always it's always a learning experience. And what I've learned is that all the times that I've stressed over exams and marks in year 9, not even year 11, year 9, even year 11, I can't even remember my marks. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I can't even remember them. So at the time, obviously, because teachers are like stressing about it, you're stressing about it, you don't realize that in the long run, it's really not needed for anything. Like I can't remember my marks because like going into places like potential work and stuff, they've never been like, so that one exam that you did in year 8, what'd you get for it? Like you don't do that. It's not needed. And like, school is a very strange thing in the sense that like they push you so hard to do like the best that you can, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways, and then you just kind of don't remember what you did at that point. So I've just kind of come to the like conclusion that if I just try my hardest, it doesn't matter what the mark is, because I won't remember the number. I'll remember that I tried my best, and I'll remember the feedback that I got. And I think that's the important thing that you need to remember. In year 11, I actually, specifically with only one of my teachers, not with everyone, because they were like, no, you need the mark. But I actually, we came to a like agreement that when we would get our results back for stuff, I would only get my feedback results and not my mark results. And that's what really started the whole like trail of being able to see school in a more positive like light, because of the fact that I wasn't getting the number itself and then just freaking out about the fact of, oh my God, why isn't it 100%? But instead I was getting the feedback and only the feedback. So I could use it. In school, I could use it as a learning experience. And I think if you're the type of person who responds very negatively to simply the fraction that is on your page, that's the thing. It takes one fraction to completely make a student go insane, either positively or negatively. If you're someone who responds badly to that sort of stuff, I do recommend, at least before seeing the mark, read the response, read the comments first before seeing the mark. If you can't control yourself and you know you're going to see the marks first, you can discuss with your teacher the possibility of being able to do that setup where you don't get the mark, but you get the feedback first. Because I think we've been so driven to find the marks important that people don't care about the comments. How do you know? How are you meant to understand how you got the number if the feedback isn't good, isn't sufficient, or not even there sometimes? So I think it's really important that when you do assessments and stuff, you look at the feedback first, or you try and see the feedback over the mark and stuff. And if you can somehow get the feedback without the mark, that'd be pretty cool too. And I know some people will be thinking, oh, but for the HSC and stuff, you'll need the marks, you need the ranking and stuff, you need to know where you are in terms of that. My response, no, you don't actually. I'll talk about this later, but in terms of uni and stuff like that, there are a lot of ways that you can get into courses and stuff without the need to be so dependent on ranks and marks. And obviously that will give you the fast way into the course you want to get to, but sometimes life isn't about that. Sometimes life, you will go a bit in circles and you will go a bit zigzag. You don't have to always be shooting in a straight line. If you're not shooting in a straight line, that's okay. That's not needed. You don't need to be shooting in a straight line. You can be zigzagging. You could be arching. You could be going back to the beginning. I don't know how you could do that, but if you do that, that's pretty cool as well. But oopsies. My bad. But marks will not be everything. And you will see that in the long run. You'll realize that in the long run. And I think if you can realize that if you can realize that earlier within the school, term and stuff, you may find school to be a little bit easier and less stressful on you, even though teachers won't change that, even though the school system won't change that, you might be able to change that for yourself mentally and be able to find a bit of closure that even if you can't get the best mark, and no matter how hard you try to study, you may not still be able to do that, you are at least able to try your hardest in the sense of if you've tried, that's all that matters. If you can try hard, that's literally all that matters. The mark is not what's important. It's the journey, I guess. I don't know. The mark is not important. It's the fact that you can drive yourself to do that, and you can still be here. Essentially, you can do even just sometimes I say even just showing up to the test can still be the best that you can do. It's just, I think just the unhealthy obsession with marks is what needs to stop. I wish that could happen. Will it happen? Probably not. I don't think schools will be able to change that. Because the problem is that it's been set in such a strange, specific way that to change it would make it too difficult, because then it would have to be a domino effect where everything would change. And it's your goal is to just mentally make it through school, because I think a lot of the time school will contribute to mental health issues. Unfortunately, I've heard from psychologists that school, the amount of people who come in, and the reason that they come in is strictly school-based stuff, something's wrong in that sense. That something's not working out, and it's really unfortunate. And it's alarming. It's very alarming, that's for sure. And it's just sometimes you won't be able to change. I can't sit here being hey, school system, stop it. But sometimes it's like sometimes what you may need to do is you just simply need to help like change it in your perspective. Redefine school for yourself. Don't redefine school as in walk up to the government and get them to change it, because that's going to be very difficult. You could try. I don't know what would happen. But definitely redefining it at least for yourself would be a great start to it. Yes, sorry. I'm in year 12 now. And I think year 12 is where you're going to see the most people stress out ever, because year 12 is where you really start getting hammered with exams and having to perform well, and even some teachers just straight up saying you have to get 100%, not even like a we want you to get 100%, it's you must get 100% because you want to do the best within the ATAR and stuff. And if you don't know what that means, the ATAR is essentially described as what gets you like into your uni. Very heavy air quotes, because I don't believe in that. I don't think that's the way that you need to go. I don't think you need to see the ATAR as like the be all end all situation. And unfortunately, even though I've been able to enter school in a more positive way, based on my experiences, I can see that a lot of students around me, peers around me, friends around me are not seeing it the same way, unfortunately, and getting very freaked out and very stressed about it. And entering, as I like to say, survival mode, which is where issues, mental health, like problems, and sometimes even fighting will begin, because you're forcing kids into this environment and into this like mind space where a lot of them are going to start reacting negatively to it, because like school's just not for everyone. And you might think that I'm overreacting, but I've seen it happen. I kid you not. The school that I went to, literally 2 girls got into a fist fight, like a physical like argument and stuff, and they can't walk away, they can't leave because they're not allowed to. Again, trapping them in this environment, making it worse, and they can't leave. So yeah, so like there's this big, like, I believe personally that teachers do not do the most effective job at giving empowering speeches. First-hand experience, I got a empowering speech by my principal, and it was probably one of the saddest speeches ever, where they somehow managed to link it back to the initial problem, which is marks, and it just felt so disingenuous, because what she would do is she would be like, come on girls, you're smart, you're intelligent, I've been reading your report cards, basically going like, you have to keep that standard that you've seen, like that I've seen you perform and stuff. Again, not being the most helpful, and just sandwiching these compliments in the worst things to say with them. And it was not good. And I was even telling my friends, I was like, I feel like I could do more justice at getting this, like, at being able to make a motivational, like, message and stuff. And my friends gave me some, like, a really good idea that you could try in some sort of way if you can communicate to the whole year. You don't have to do it in the, like, you know, as an assembly or anything, or as, like, a, like, as, like, the secretary of the school or whatever. But, so we have this big group chat for all of the year 12s so that we can talk to each other. And I thought, why not, like, make a message? Like, why not make a message and be able to talk to them? Like, be able to share this, like, just this positive thing to help allow them to enter the school in a more positive, like, view, and just be able to do these final big, like, assessments and stuff in a nicer, like, way, and not just simply, like, being completely like, you know, completely driven by, like, as, like, mindless machines and stuff. Sorry, I'm getting completely off topic. Like, basically just helping them to not like drive into absolute, like, mental insanity, because unfortunately school can do that to a lot of kids. It can be really, like, damaging to their mental health, and sometimes you need the, like, empowering messages, not from teachers, not from higher ups, not people in school positions that will cause them to be tainted by the school system. Sometimes you just need to hear it from someone who's either experienced school or like a fellow peer, for example. And that's what my goal was for this message, just to, like, just to get that. And I'm getting up the message now. I do want to read it mainly because the message took me an hour to perfect, mainly because I wanted to make sure that it was kind of making sense in what I was trying to say, but also just kind of like not have anything that can possibly be misconstrued as like an insult or anything. Like when I say insult, I mean like sort of like comparing people to each other, because that's the last thing you want to do, compare everyone to each other. So I decided to make this message and I want to read it to you guys. Hey everyone, hope we're all okay. I just wanted to say something to everyone about trials in the HSC, because I feel as though the talks teachers give us don't feel the most empowering, and I feel it may be nicer to hear it from someone who's not in a position where they need to push for good marks and reputation, but instead just a fellow classmate. I'm sure we can all agree that at this point, school's becoming one of the most stressful things, and we're all stuck studying and striving to be the most perfect we can be. But I want you to know that no matter what level you are at, whether it's on the ranking or against your peers, you're absolutely perfect and doing amazing. Things sometimes don't work out in the most perfect ways. As humans, we may all make silly mistakes, either on exams or assessments, but that doesn't make us any less than each other or make you a failure. You're doing great for even pulling through all of this and simply being here. The fact we are all here balancing 5 to 6 subjects at once is freaking impressive in itself, and each and every one of you are achieving way more than you're allowing yourself to get or give credit for. You may be excelling at school, or you're working on big things outside of school, which has nothing to do with school. You're still doing absolutely amazing. For those who are stressing and sacrificing sleep and self-care for the HSC and trials, I want to reassure you that if you don't get the ATAR you need, it's not the be-all end-all situation. It's possible in 2 to 3 years' time, once you've graduated, that you can get into your course without the need for an ATAR number, since your number by that point will be too out of date. Bet your teachers would never say this. If you're worried that means you'll fall behind compared to everyone else, there is still so much of your life to be experienced and so much more time to complete that that waiting some extra years will not make you any different or mean you're failing against everyone. It means you're allowing yourself the joy to not be overworked from school and instead experiencing the beauty of life itself. I want every single person to walk into the HSC and trials exam confident that you will do the best you can do. You don't need to feel that you'll get 100%, but that you will try 100%, and no matter the mark, the best that you have done is a beautiful result. You tried your hardest, and in life that's all you can do. You're all so strong, and no matter the mark and expectation of the school, you're doing perfect. We are all in the same boat, and it feels as though we've entered survival mode to survive. But you don't need to. You have loving friends and peers to help you, and if you're scared to talk to teachers, which is strongly encouraged, you know there is at least one student wishing for only the happiest experience for everyone and peer support if you need it. Check up on your friends and check up on your own well-being, please. You deserve only the best vibes and mental health for the future in the next few weeks. I hope you all have a good day, and please get some good sleep and have a nice meal. School can be a very tough environment for people, and it can really be unfair to some, and others may excel. No matter where you are doing absolutely amazing and you're doing it perfectly. So don't you even worry about that. And parents might sometimes like push these agendas and certain like things onto you where you have to be perfect, but at the end of the day, again, like I stated before, you're your own individual person, and as long as you can't get 100% all the time. That's the beauty of being human. What you can do instead is just try your hardest, because then you'll at least be able to know what you are truly passionate about and what are some things that, you know, in the future they might not affect you as much. And this need to constantly be perfect within school is so unnecessary and toxic in the environment. And unfortunately, there's not that many teachers out there that will tell you that, like, you know, you don't need this toxic, you don't need this toxic thinking, you don't need to be feeling this way, or by the time they say it, it's too late and students are already feeling that pressure to to be first within the rankings. And sometimes you don't need that. like whether you're stressing over like trials, like the big exams, the final exams, maybe you're in year 7 getting ready for your first high school exam, maybe you're in like the little in between, like year 8 to year like 10, where the like exams just kind of come and go. You might be even doing pop quizzes and stuff like that. Whatever you get, as long as you try, whatever the mark that you get is the perfect mark. And that's all that matters. If you've at least tried your hardest in the exam, that's all you can do. Because as humans, like I said, as humans, that's all you can really do. And you can't constantly force yourself to get 100% or be in that A range, because sometimes you won't be able to get that A range. Whether it's simply just the course is too hard, it's out of your capability. Humans won't always be like exceptional at everything. We have our weaknesses, and you can work on those weaknesses, but we will have them, and you don't need to be able to be 100% in all of them. And I feel like sometimes that's what teachers try to go against, in terms of they try to make you perfect in everything, but you can be well-rounded in the sense that you can just averagely be well-rounded, or you can excel at one thing. That's how we are as humans. We can't excel at absolutely everything. We can't be able to just be absolutely amazing, but at everything ever. You usually are able to like excel within maybe a couple of skills, but definitely the pressure that the school system puts on us is too many skills that we have to try and excel at. And I think as long as you can try your best, that's all you can really do within the school system. You are doing absolutely perfect. I do want to end this podcast by saying that no matter what teachers, what parents, what the school system is making you think, you are doing absolutely perfect. And in a couple of years' time, that school, like the school experience, may not even affect you anymore in what you're doing in terms of work and stuff. Like I said, about if you're curious about what I mentioned in the ATAR about the idea that in 2 to 3 years time your ATAR will become invalid, that is actually something that I researched and is true. After a certain period of time, which I believe is 3 years, your ATAR will not be able to dictate your skill level anymore, which it should have never, in my honest opinion, it should have never done that. It should have never been what dictates your skill level. But with the ATAR, it will become basically out of date, and it won't be able to represent you anymore, and it will purely be based on your skills and how well you can sell yourself. So if you are scared about the idea of oh, but I won't be able to get what I'm into, rest assured that you will be, and you're never falling behind. You've got so much of your life to experience that school itself is such a small, insignificant thing. You are doing absolutely amazing that you are, and as long as you're healthy, as long as you're physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy, that's all that matters. And you don't need to be getting 100%. If you are still a functioning human being, I think that is all that, I think that is what the important thing is. If you're able to even get up and go into school, that's the important thing, and that's what you really need to be doing. And unfortunately, there has been periods of my life where I have purposely skipped school, flunked exams and stuff, because I wasn't feeling well, and I've gotten to a point now where I can feel mentally well and go into exams being positive. And you may be thinking, oh, but you're just saying this because you're really smart and that my average is 90 and 100. I want you to know that this is coming from the perspective of a student where my average is actually 60%. And that classifies as a low B, high C, I believe. Which means, yeah, I'm not your excelling student, unfortunately. I was not able to balance the art of doing everything that I do and on top of that excelling at school. It just means that I have found what I am passionate about, and I'm not simply trying to focus all of that on school, because to be fair, if I completely simply focused on school, nothing, Nini Cosmic-Con and Cosmic Creative Entertainments wouldn't be here. That wouldn't have existed, because I would have been too focused on excelling at school, unfortunately, and that's what some other people may be doing. And yeah, and I think I'm doing well in terms of I'm getting I'm getting in, like, my standards, I'm getting good grades because I'm passing. I know I at least know my stuff. I seem to be doing well within schoolwork, not just assessments. Assessments a lot of the time, like exams, taint my like skill like to what I can do, because I know that I am like a smart person and that in certain like places I can definitely work well. It's the exams that stress me out, but even then there are some courses where I'll straight up tell you I'm just bad at them and I'm simply doing it just to get to the end of the like course, and that's okay. And it means that I know what I am good at and I know where I can take my strengths further. If you're curious about the music thing and the maths thing, I'll tell you that I am slowly starting to develop my love for maths again. Not as strong as what it used to be, but definitely I am starting to develop that again. As for music, I'm actually taking short mini courses outside of school because I am at a point now where, because I'm graduating, I'm a bit too late to pick music as a subject, but definitely music is something that I want to continue to pursue maybe in the future. I don't know, maybe. But it is something that I've started doing again because I'm not allowing the teacher and the school system to take that enjoyment of music away from me. I'm allowing myself to enjoy it because that's what I that's what I enjoy and that's what I love to do. And no one can take that away from me. And school has shown me what I do, school has been able to show me that I am not that I'm only an academic person in certain situations and in certain subjects and certain things, and that's completely okay. School has sort of helped me in terms of mental health to be able to be a bit more positive when it comes to getting when it comes to certain school things, and that's pretty cool, that's pretty chill. But yeah, I think that you do not need to stress and dedicate 100% of your energy to school. You're allowed to do the things that you love, and as long as you try your best, I think that is truly all that matters. And no matter people telling you that it's about the grades, it's not about the grades, it's about just the learning experience that you get from school. And I want to thank you guys so much for listening to another podcast. I hope this one can resonate with certain people. It won't resonate with everyone because everyone's different when it comes to school, but if it was able to resonate with you, I hope it was able to leave a positive mark and you can leave this maybe learning a couple of things about how you can tackle school and how you can develop sort of your view on school. The stars were beautiful. Spirit is not angry at me anymore for my shirt. Thank you, Spirit. And I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Bye-bye. Have a good day. I love you. Slay the day away, besties. Hell yeah.